Do you mind sharing what your business is all about?
BlueTree Education is a growing enrichment enterprise that aims to transform learning for students who are from 6 years old to 18 years old. For the past 8 years, we have been providing enrichment and education programs for English, math, science, as well as Chinese. To transform the learning in this process, we actually do a lot to help children to frame creative thinking, to improve their critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and we also work very tightly with a team of very, very experienced and dedicated educators who aims also to help us to grow the students in their critical learning skills. We also help a lot of parents, okay, by conducting many parents workshops and webinars to share some effective parenting tips for different age group. We are also very aware of the current education trends, so we are also doing our bit now in the digital education space.
So, what led you to the teaching career?
Okay, I think that my story is very relatable to many people of my times. Okay, because during our times, right, tutoring is actually pretty common. It's a way to get extra income, especially if you didn't come from a well-to-do family like myself. So I actually started private tuition since JC time when I was in the junior college. And when I was tutoring, I still remember this child who was not very strong in his math and science. And when he first, gotten his improvement in his exam, I still remember that sparkle and that, that confident learner, that look that came upon him. And that was truly a moment that I will never forget. And that is also that moment that I realized that, hey, I could be a good teacher. And of course, however, life doesn't necessarily always lead us to what we plan for. My first official job is not a teacher, but it was something that I still hold very dear in my heart. I entered the university, and that's where I decided that teaching is something that I might wish to pursue formally. But as we all know, sometimes life does not flow in the way that we want it to be. And teaching ultimately didn't become my first job. However, it was something that I kept thinking about it, and I was still very much involved in private tuition. And so one day I decided I shall give it a shot and applied to the Ministry of Education, and I got my dream job. So I worked and taught in a local school for the next 10 years. In that 10 years of teaching in a local school, it's really a mind-blowing experience. Not only that I got into contact with many passionate and very good teachers who really just pour all their life into teaching their students. I was so inspired by so many of them. I also met many great leaders in the education who actually try their very best to change and transform the education scene. And of course, parents who have inspired me, to be better educators by sharing with me their personal stories on how they coach their children and their dreams into seeing their children becoming someone more. And finally, of course, the students, the children. So in that 10 years of teaching, the children are actually the one who really taught me more than they thought they did. Okay, so in that 10 years of teaching, I discovered much more about myself and as well as, of course, improving my own teaching methods.
Talking about teaching, I noticed the apparent excitement in your voice. Being a teacher for 18 years, what do you love the most about the job?
What do I love most about my job? It seems like such an easy question to answer, but it's not. So much things I love about my job. So many things. Okay, so I think the first thing that came upon me, of course, the children. I really like the fact that I have the chance to work with very young children and the ability to influence them and to shape their future. That's something that a privilege that I don't take it lightly. And each day, I really feel very blessed that I'm given this privilege. The second thing that I really love about my job is the ability, to transform, to do this little part to transform the education scene. I think that any one of you who's watching this will agree that education is a key factor in the society. And to be able to be part of this transformative landscape is really amazing. And third, of course, what I love most about my job is that the people, right? The people that I meet every day, whether is it the students, the parents, the external partners, the teachers. I think anyone who's involved in the education scene so far, they are all very inspiring. And in more than one way, it has shaped me into the person of today.
What is an important core value which you live by, which also guides you as an educator?
Oh, so many personal values that guide me each day. And for me personally, I believe that in different situations, actually different personal values will take root to guide you in this situation. I guess that the one constant personal value that I always subscribe to is kindness. For me, because I didn't come from a very well-to-do family, so I have been very blessed that there are many people who have been very kind to me and have given me many chances to improve myself, to prove myself, and also to help me. So in the society today, I feel that sometimes because of different situations, it may cause us to change certain behaviors. So allow me to be a teacher right now. I always tell the children that it is so important to be kind, much more important than being smart. So because I feel that in today's world, it's actually very difficult to be kind, especially when the situation gets very difficult or in the face of adversities. Kindness is definitely a value that I hold dearly in my heart, and that is something that guides me in my daily actions too.
How do you strike a balance between work and bringing up your children?
That's a very difficult question to answer, and even today, every day, I am trying to find that balance. But of course, there are some things that have helped me along the way, how I balance motherhood and how I balance my career. I think one of the very useful tip that I have been using is prioritizing the time management or routine. So actually, I'm not a very organized person by nature, but because of this act of balancing, it forces me to look into my routines daily, and that definitely sticking to the routines helps a lot. The second thing is being a female entrepreneur. All right, I feel that in Asian society is very very challenging because the society does impose more expectations on us as a mother, as a daughter, and we are always expected also to front on the home front more. So this thing definitely also helps me to balance both motherhood and career, and that is having manageable targets. Okay, so for me, when I started BlueTree, I didn't exactly like have very big, lofty aspirations, but instead, right, I asked myself what are the achievable targets that I can see in 6 months, 1 year, and 3 years. So what I did was I did a lot of regular reviews of my current situation of the business and the achievable targets that I could get in that period of time that I set myself to do. And of course, lastly, the third thing, the balance, right, is only possible when I have a very supportive husband. So being having a supportive spouse definitely helps a lot in this balancing act.
How being a mother has shaped you to be the educator you are now?
Being a mother definitely has done a lot for me in shaping my thoughts, my processes, and my methods as an educator. So before being a mother, I would say that I was always pursuing perfection, pursuing like the best method, how to get the children to learn the most effectively, how to get the most marks within the shortest time span. But after I become a mother, I realized that motherhood, parenting, is not as what I thought at first, right? Even though that I was already a teacher for several years, and although that I've heard so many parents sharing their stories with me, but being a mother myself it transforms everything within and outside, right? So how motherhood has transformed my thinking as an educator, I think the first thing is I actually became slower. Yeah, I actually stopped pursuing perfection. I slowed down. I observed the children more in class. I listened more. I walked around more. I interacted much more with the children. And I think that helps me to become a more relatable, a more emotive teacher. And when I became that, right, I realized that there were several miraculous moments that actually happened very quickly in that 1 year. Suddenly the children would share their dreams with me that I've never heard before. They will come and hug me. When they see me, really a big hug. They'll start to comment about my looks and how great I look and how happy I was. So that was something that I felt a very major change. The second thing that definitely changed the way I taught was I also stopped pursuing perfection, right? So I stopped looking at how to get the best marks within the shortest period, right? Instead, I start to look at the children, their strengths, and I look beyond their grades. I actually think of how I should use different methods to help them to learn the way that they should. So in other words, I actually became more involved in their different learning styles and their personalities, right? I was much involved with several children, their personal learning journeys as well. Like I was very surprised to know that one of my kid that I taught many years ago, she was actually a child actress. And I actually didn't know for that 6 months that I was teaching her. But after I became a mother, right, I became very involved in their stories. I wanted to hear more. And that's why she shared that she was actually a child actress and how the different scheduling has caused her sometimes not being able to focus. And that's where we work together, right, hand in hand, to not only help her to catch up with her work, but also to help her to fulfill her dreams in acting.
Being a mother of three, juggling between the demands of your career and family must not have been easy. What are some personal conflicts that you have felt along the way?
I think that the society now, the times are right. So if you're a mother and you're looking to start your business, I feel that now is a very good time. Of course, there are several challenges that will be constant, no matter what the times are. And I think one of the greatest challenge, being a mother and striking having your own business, right, is time. Right. Many times, right, as a mother, I would wish that I could spend all my time on my children. But running a business also requires a lot of dedication, time dedication. So there are several days or even weeks, right, that I find myself struggling to make this decision whether I should dedicate more time on the business or dedicate more time on my children. Thankfully, I think that if your home support is very good, okay, like I have a very supportive spouse, that could be mitigated because it always, I can rest assured that actually one parent is actually with my child, right? The other thing that I think that helps me a lot is having a very supportive and a strong team. So I may not be able to be there physically in the business, but having a strong team also gives me the assurance that they will be looking after the business while I can be on home front, right? The other major challenge I feel being a mother as well as doing a business, right, is expectations, right? It is very hard sometimes to hear these expectations and these views from other women, and it can feel that they can drown you and become like a weight that's under you. So I would say that the best thing is do not let this define who you are and what you set out to do. I guess that being a mother also did help me in my resilience and determination and grit. I mean, while motherhood, right, has a lot of sacrifices, and you have to, you have to sacrifice your sleep and your personal time. So those things did definitely make me a more resilient and determined person. So when it comes to expectations in this manner, in this way, I often have to recalibrate, and tell myself, come on, I'm more than that, I my dreams are more than that. So I should not let this define me.
Are there any exciting up and coming news about your business?
Of course, we are always looking to grow further, and 8 years into the business is a very good time because now at this stage, in very using a very motherhood term, the business is no longer a baby, and so the business now has a lot more stable processes and a stronger team, and that definitely gives me much confidence in growing the business. So back to what I've been doing. Every time, all right, to balance also the motherhood and the business, and that is to set very manageable targets. So one of the manageable targets that I think that most of you will be seeing the fruits of it, okay, is we are going to start another 3 more centers in Singapore across different areas. Our 5th branch would be in West Coast, and that is opening in July. So do come by, swing by and visit us. Right. The second thing that, of course, to grow the business, we hope to be able to work with more partners to bring forth our BlueTree successful pedagogies and our curriculum. And we are always looking for partnerships. So welcome, please also do contact us. Right. And the third thing is we wish to expand our digital library of free resources so that more children can benefit from them and learn better. And finally, we are also looking at the Southeast Asia countries. So we have been working very tightly with several external overseas partners, and we know that the success of Singapore's education, right, is much raved upon in Southeast Asia country, and we're looking at actually making bite-sized lessons, okay, of our Singapore curriculum, and we hope that more students in the Southeast Asian countries can benefit from it as a result.
Do you have any advice for mothers out there who are looking to start their own business?
I think it is, if you are a mother and you're thinking of starting a business, I would first say congratulations. Because sometimes being a mother means that we shelve our personal self aside, because of the needs of the children. I find that many mothers, they tend to be very self-sacrificed. I would say don't do that. Don't forget who you truly are as a person. So if you still remember your dreams, really congratulations. I think the only advice that I would give to any mompreneurs, mothers who wish to start their business is just start. Right? Don't hesitate, just start. In the course of the journey, yes, you will feel very tired. There will be a lot of self-doubt. You will be wondering if you can ever cope. You'll be wondering if you could ever balance between the business and the children. Yes, these are real questions, real doubts, and yes, you will struggle, but it's all right. In that process of starting the business, you may find that the business may not thrive in the direction that you want, but you know what? You will find yourself again, and you will get to know yourself again, and you will get to know your strengths. And once again, right, you will definitely emerge stronger. So don't hesitate. Just do it.